Telling you what is happening and of course what is creating a buzz, making news for the day. And right now the center stage is going to be, I'll be taking you through two top stories. We've got two events that we'll be taking a look at, and of course right now bringing to you the latest from the courts. That is of course the court case between Marianne Kitani and her estranged husband, that is Meru Senator Linturi, and he has obviously been taking the stand. The past few weeks we've seen Marianne Kitani, who has been on the stand, and this time around he was taking a stand, but right now we can see that she is being cross-examined by Senator Linturi's counsel. So we'll be giving you more details on that particular court case, but for now we have Robbie Chacha, our reporter, who is on standby as well, and she's going to be giving us more details from Wilson Airport, where some police officers have been moved from their quarters. And of course, she's going to be giving us the latest regarding this particular story. Good morning, Robbie Chacha. What exactly is happening with regard to this particular story that you've been covering?
Good morning, Shiksha. Yes, we are at the Wilson Airport Police Post, where 6 police are said to be moved today from where they used to stay, and this is after a policy was directed for the police to move to places where people live, so that they can integrate with the public, especially considering that the kind of lives, or rather the kind of houses that they were living in initially, were not in good condition. And this is basically so that even as they integrate with the public, they can be able to monitor either it could be criminal activities, or rather maintain peace in places where people live. So basically today the 6 officers who had not moved from this particular place are trying to be moved so that they can move to another place, considering also that there has been a policy where police officers are required to be given house allowances so that they can be able to live like any other member of the public. And so today we'll be here trying to gather more information, but for now the movement is still going on. Their property from the houses are being moved to a different place, so that by the time the day ends, we are hoping that we'll be able to gather more information to know what is the next move for them, and whether they had already been given a notice so that they can move to these places that they are required to move. Despite the fact that a few people that we've been able to talk to earlier mentioned that this amount of money that they're being given is not enough for them to get decent places for them to live. That is basically why they still have been maintaining to live in these particular places. But considering that earlier this policy was reinstated earlier and they had been told to move to different places, that is the reason why today it was forcefully made for them to move. So we'll be here trying to get more information, and later on in our subsequent bulletin we'll be able to share with you what is going on here, and whether other police posts will follow suit to ensure that police officers reintegrate with the public. Back to you, Shiksha, in studio.
All right, thank you very much, Robbie Chacha, for giving us that update, of course, from Wilson Airport, where we've seen police officers being relocated and moved after they have been experiencing challenges in that particular area. And of course, we will continue following that and give you recent developments and breaking news regarding what exactly happens later on in the day in our subsequent bulletin. So we're going to be following that right here on K24 Daily Briefer. Now, remember, we've also been telling you what's making news in the respective counties. We've had a chat with our correspondents in Mombasa. We've had a chat with our correspondent in Kisumu as well. And of course, we've also had a chat with our correspondent in Nakuru regarding the Mau eviction. So we'll definitely be giving you more details and more information as it continues to unveil. And of course, information that is happening currently right now is that we're going to be taking you to our reporter, that is Baraka Karama, who is in Kisumu, and he is going to be giving us the latest update with what is going on with the stalemate in Kisumu County.
Shisha, the stalemate of the budget in Kisumu County continues once again. Remember, just last week, the members of the County Assembly passed the budget estimate, the 10.2 billion budget estimate that was presented to them by the executive, and that, remember, was done after nearly 1 month of waiting. So today again, the county executive has returned that particular budget once again to the assembly, saying that it was altered, and according to the statements that we received from the county government of Kisumu, led by Professor Peter Nyang'nyongo, is that the MCAs interfered with the budget. And that means that the residents of Kisumu County once again will have to wait before the budget is once again passed. So just allow me to get your reactions and comments from a cross-section of members of the County Assembly, maybe to react on this particular move. Just welcome. Of course, it's quite a disappointing news for the residents of Kisumu County. Once again, the budget estimate has been returned back to the assembly. What are the main reasons why the budget estimates has been returned? Remember, the county executive is accusing the MCAs for altering that estimate that they earlier presented.
Okay, thank you very much. As we are concerned, is that the budget is prepared by the executive.
Yes.
Then from the executive, it comes to the assembly.
Yes.
When it comes to the assembly, it's the prerogative of the assembly members.
Yes.
To scrutinize each and every page,
yes,
and to see whether there's a ventilation, yes, that is left uncovered. So I think the assembly did their work, and by so, the assembly, we should have passed the budget by the 30th of June.
Yes.
But being that at least it came very late, and we were struggling to see where each and every item was placed. So it forced us that last week we did pass the budget after going through that budget.
Okay, the sentiments by the executive that you interfered with the budget estimate.
With that one, I will not say much about it. I do not sit in the budget committee, yes, but as a member, when it comes in the floor of the House, yes, I may not know whether it was interfered or not. Yes. But the true fact of the matter is that it is our work as the legislators, yes, to see and scrutinize each and everything. Okay. So should it have been that it was interfered with, yes, then I have to read the memorandum of our governor, which actually came today, and it has been subjected, yes, to the budget committee. Okay. From the budget committee, it will come to us. So from there, we'll know whether there's something interfered with it or not.
Okay, let me just get a brief from one of the members of the budget committee. Of course, you're being accused of interfering with that budget estimate that was presented to you by the executive.
Baraka, I think as an assembly, our work is to, the executive would give to the assembly budget proposals. Yes. And when you look at the proposal or estimates, the proposals, it means they are able, there's a process that is followed, yes, before the estimate proposals are prepared. So when these estimates are presented to the assembly, our work is to ensure that it is scrutinized, we look at it thoroughly, and there are certain parameters that are set, yes, that we have to adhere to. One, yes, we are talking of a budget of 10.2 billion. Yes. And this budget of 10.2 billion, it would have been our wish as an assembly, yes, that 40% of it goes to development. Yes. The purpose for which the county governments are formed is to bring development lower and to the ground, to the people, so that we, yes, can feel. Yes. And sometimes when you look at our budgets, yes, nationally or even at the county levels, it does not reflect the purpose for which the counties are constituted. Yes. When we looked at the budget of the 10.2 billion, yeah, we had proposed that we do a 40% development, yeah, of which we realized it was not possible. So we had engaged at a very long, we had very lengthy discussions, yes, with the executive, yes, to make them understand yes, that some of the areas that they had allocated the money, they had proposed to spend money on, were not areas of priority. Yes. For example, I would tell you, we believe that the purpose for devolution is to ensure that at the lowest level of development, yeah, go to the ward, yeah, and more so to the villages. Yeah. As an assembly, we were looking at the amounts allocated. We had a situation where some of the wards were given totally no allocation for development. Okay. I would give you two, yeah, examples of that. That is Migosi ward, yeah, and Kaloleni Shaurimoyo ward. Okay. They did not have any allocation for development at the ward level.
Okay, just, yeah, to cut you short, now that the proposal has been brought back again to the, yeah, assembly, What is the way forward now?
The way forward is when the governor is not very comfortable with the approved budget, he will bring it back with a memorandum. And in this memorandum, he stated a few things. One, there are claims that the budget was changed as you are putting it. There are certain laws that he's saying we did not adhere to. But we are also saying, as an assembly, once that is brought, we are going to look at those issues raised in the memorandum. We are going to look at the legal aspects or the legal provision of the legal whatever that's been quoted in this memorandum, and see if we have adhered to them. As an assembly, the proposed budget, the amended budget, whatever I would call it, the memorandum is suggesting, I've looked at the conclusion, it was saying you would want that we consider the budget that was proposed, that was brought to us by 30th June, which is a bit tricky because as an assembly, we've had a lot of discussions and we realized there were misplaced priorities in that budget, of which in our discussions with the executive, they also agreed that there were even monies that were allocated in the previous years to specific budgets, and those budgets, those items are still appearing in the current budget. So we said we want to do a 38% development so that the I would call it 62% would go to recurrent or the other part of the budget, which is O&M and personnel. All said and done, what we are saying, the Committee of Budget and Appropriation has received from the floor of the House, this document has been recommitted to that committee. And we expect them to bring it back as soon as possible to look at the memorandum, look at the issues raised. If there are things we can change, then we will. If there are things we are not going to change, then definitely we are not going to change. We'll take it back with the same approvals. And as the law stipulates, it's going to reach a point when if we take it back, and then after 14 days, it shall have been considered the approved budget. But Karama would tell you, all said and done, as an assembly, you are one government. County government is one and having two arms, which is the executive and the legislative. If there are contentious issues, I would have suggested that, like now as we speak, we would have the approved budget. We are not going to use the money at once. We can reorganize. We can do as many supplementary budgets as possible, so that some of the issues raised could be corrected in the course of so that we don't subject our people to unnecessary suffering.
Yes. Well, you heard from the horse's mouth, of course, the members of the county assembly trying to flex their muscles, and of course the county executive also maintaining their position. That again is a major stalemate here at the Kisumu County Assembly, and of course it will trickle down to the services, of course, that is rendered to the resident of this particular county. Like they mentioned, once again, the memorandum that was presented to them by the county governor for Kisumu, Professor Peter Nyang'nyong'o, is yet again to be subjected to another debate. Of course, the residents of Kisumu County will have to wait again until that that passes as they wait to see how this particular stalemate will be unlocked. Back to you, Shiksha.
Thank you very much, Baraka Karama, for that update. Of course, as the Kisumu budget stalemate continues to unravel, and one of the issues that ensue courtesy of this stalemate is the impeachment of CEC Finance, and of course we'll definitely be covering that particular story, with MCAs still rejecting the 10.2 billion shillings budget that was passed last week. Now, for now, we'll be taking you to our reporter there. As you can see, that is Alfred, and he is in Murang'a County, and he's going to be bringing us up to speed with what is happening there right now. Alfred.
Na asante sana Shiksha, na kama nilivyokuwa nimekuarifu ni kwamba nimekuwa nikitembea katika kaunti ya Murang'a, na hivi sasa niko kwenye chuo cha kiufundi cha Michuki, ambapo kuna wanafunzi kadhaa watakuwa wakihitimu baada ya kupata kosi zao, na hivi leo nimeweza kuungana na mwakilishi wa wanawake kutoka kaunti hii, Bi Sabina Chege, na mmoja ambao amenufaika na mpango huu, na katika pia mgeni wa heshima katika event hii. Na hivi sasa ningetaka kumkaribisha mwakilishi wa wanawake katika eneo hili ili aweze kutueleza mambo mengi kuhusu taarifa hii. Na asante, na ningependa utueleze jinsi hii ilianza na jinsi inavyoendelea.
Tulianza huu mpango huu mwaka mwezi wa 4 April, ambapo niliangalia kwenye vijiji vyetu tuko na wanafunzi wengi, wengine walimalizia darasa la 8, wengine kidato cha 4, na hawakuweza kuendelea kwa masomo kwa sababu either familia haikuwa na pesa ama hawakuwa na namna. Na kwa sababu tunataka kuencourage wale ambao ni youth waanze kufanya kazi ya mkono, na tukatangaza mwezi wa 4 tukasema tungetaka kuwa katika kila ward at least watu 10. Tukakuwa na 400 mwezi wa 4 wakagraduate. Ni program ambayo tumeshikiliana na Mishuki Technical, na ambapo tunachukua wanafunzi wetu wanakuja hapa, tunafanya full scholarship, wanafanya training ya plumbing, ya dressmaking, ya kupika, ya electricals, na mtu anachagua pale yeye mwenyewe anataka anaona ndio anangependelea zaidi. Wengine tumepata kwamba hata wale walikuja mwezi wa 4 tukimaliza ni course tu ya mwezi mmoja na tuwapatia certificate yetu, lakini tumekuwa na mpango ya kwamba tungetaka wengine waendelee. Tumeona hata wazazi wengine ambao wako wamejua maneno ya technical training wanawarudisha wanafunzi hapa ama kwa technical training nyingine, na wanaanza kuwalipia ili waendelee. Lakini jambo la muhimu ni kwamba huo mwezi mmoja ungeangalia kwa exhibitions, utaona ile kazi ambao wamefanya ni kazi ya maana sana, na tunafurahia kwamba hii Technical Institute iko hapa kwetu Murang'a, na tunaweza kusaidia vijana wetu. Wakati huu ama leo tutakuwa na vijana 401 ambao pia watakuwa wakigraduate siku ya leo, na December pia tutakuwa tukichukua wengine 400 ili tuendeleze, tutoe vijana kwa maneno ya drugs, mihadarati, kwa maneno ambayo ni ya ulevi. Tunataka vijana wetu waweze kujiajiri, na tunataka pia zile programs, tunajua kuna programs nyingi zitakuja kama ni za maji. Zile kampuni zikitoka kule Nairobi ama pengine wakikuja hapa wanachukua vijana wetu wanawafanyia kazi. Kama ni maneno ya upishi, watu wakiwa na programs, wakiwa na sherehe zao, harusi, kuna wapishi hapa katika kaunti ya Murang'a. Na kwa hivyo sisi ni kuwawezesha tu, tuwashikilie ili waweze kujisimamia kama vijana. Lakini jambo ambalo nimeona leo pia, kuna mama mwingine alikuja, mama ambaye ako na 54 years. Na yeye alikuja, amekuwa kwa darasa akisomea dressmaking, na kuna msichana pia yeye hakumaliza study 8 na yeye amefanya pia amefanya hair dressing. Kwa hivyo ni program ambayo pia imetufungua macho kuona maneno ambayo ama vile jamii inapitia shida, na vile kama viongozi tungetaka kuwasaidia na kusimama na wao.
Naam, asante Shiksha. Kama umesikia ni kwamba mfumo huo ubagui watu, na hivi sasa ningependa kuzungumza na mgeni wa heshima kwenye hafla hii ambaye ni Speaker wa bunge la Nairobi, Beatrice Elachi, aweze kutueleza mengi.
Asante sana. Kwanza ningependa kushukuru sana K24 na nishukuru sana shule ya Mishuki Technical Institute. Niseme ya kwamba nimefurahia sana program ya Mama County, Mheshimiwa Sabina, ya kwamba nimeona pia vijana, na nataka nishukuru sana hawa vijana kwamba vijana hawa wameingia kwa mwezi moja, lakini unaona wako na ile haja sana ya kujifunza na kwenda kujitakia maisha yao. Kwa hivyo mimi ningeomba serikali, hivi sasa kuna zile damu zinatengenezwa Murang'a, wale wamejifunza kwenda kutengeneza kuwa plumbers na nini, waendelee kupelekwa kule wafanye kama internship ili waendelee kuongezea skills zao. Wale wamejifunza electrical pia wapelekwe pale, na kuna kwingine kwingi. Umeona juzi watoto karibu 18,000 wame-apply kuwa tu internship. Kwa hivyo kama serikali ingeshikilia huku mashinani, zile project kubwa zinafanyika katika kila county, vijana hawangekuwa wana masuala haya ya mental problems, kufikiria zaidi, kujiua. Wangekuwa ni kumaanisha wakipewa nafasi na wapewe nafasi ya zile vitu wanapenda sana, watafanya kwa njia inayofaa. Mwisho nataka kuomba wazazi, shikilia watoto wetu. Maana tunafurahia ndio Mama County amewashikilia, lakini mtoto sasa anarudi mkononi mwako, usimwache hivyo. Na tunaomba tuweze kuona kama anaweza pata rasilimali kutoka national government, pia kuwafungulia tu mahali. Utakuta huyo kijana pia anaandika kijana mwenzake kufanya kazi. Asante
sana. Na Shiksha, ningeweza kuungana na kijana mmoja ambaye amenufaika na mfumo hii wa masomo, aweze kutueleza jinsi ambavyo ameweza kupokea masomo haya na jinsi atakavyomsaidia kimaisha.
Kwa majina naitwa Samuel Mahogo kutoka Mathioya constituency. Nimekuja hapa ya hizi course za Sabina for Mama County. Sabina amepata fursa hii kutupa ili tutoke kwa mashinani, tukuje tusome kitu mpya yenye itatufaidi maishani. Sasa naweza taka kushukuru Mama County Sabina kwa kupata hii chance. Hii chance wengi wanaweza peana, but Murang'a tumepata mama mzuri wa kutupea hii chance ya kuongea ya kutufunza. Hata tukiwa huko mashinani hatuko tunajua college, hatuko tunajua maisha ya college ni gani, but sasa tumejua maisha ya college venye inaendelea. Lakini sasa tukienda huko nje, hiyo course ya 1 month tumesoma sana. Hii Michuki kuna good stuff, wenye wanafunza vizuri, wanafunza na upendo kila kitu, the workshops, they have fully equipped workshops and the workshop and the materials which are in the workshop are functioning. But now
kidogo tu niweze kuzungumza na mwanadada mmoja hivi waeleze jinsi amenufaika na mambo haya na jinsi itakavyomsaidia.
Naitwa Lusimbao, nimefanya course ya baking. Huku tumefunzwa vizuri, sasa naweza bake keki zote za birthday, za weddings. In fact, huku tulikuja tu mtu na nguo zake tu. Tumesponsiwa kila kitu, hostel ni kusponsiwa, class ni kusponsiwa, kila kitu yenye tunatumia ni kusponsiwa. So huku mtu alikuja tu na nguo zake tu. Asante.
Na asante Sheikh Sharora, kama umesikia hayo ni baadhi tu ya ambao wamenufaika. Na hivi leo naendelea tukutafutia habari zingine kutoka kaunti ya Murang'a. Kwako Sheikh Sharora.
Thank you very much, Alfred, for that update. Of course, he has been covering the story where we've got the teaching and vocational center, and of course how it has really affected the lives of many residents in Murang'a. For now, we'll be taking you back to the courts, and of course, as you can see right here, that is the court case between Marianne Kitani and Senator Mithika Linturi. Let's listen in.
Your Honor, the witness refused to answer all questions regarding to that document and insisted he would only answer questions about the further amended, and the record is there.
I've not asked any question. I've not asked any question.
Yes, I have it.
When is that document dated?
The document is dated 13th day of December 2018.
Is that your signature in that document?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Let's go to the amended plaints.
Yes, I have it now.
You have it? The amended plaint is dated when?
3rd April 2019.
3rd April?
Of course, that is at the Milimani Law Court. So we'll definitely be covering more details regarding this particular court case that has been ongoing for weeks now. And of course, Marianne Kitani has confirmed that she's never seen the valid marriage certificate between Senator, that is Linturi's first wife, who is known as Mercy Kaimenyi, and of course that is something that she has definitely affirmed, and I guess we'll find more developments on that particular court case in our subsequent bulletins, Samuel.
Absolutely, but the development as of now is that we've got to wind up the show.
Indeed.
And definitely it's been a pleasure briefing you on what has been happening around you. We shall be doing this again tomorrow, same place, same time, so join us at exactly 9 a.m. for that. In the meantime,